Welcome to the Healing Waves Reiki podcast. I'm your host, Cathy Scarpitto, Reiki Master Teacher, spiritual mentor, intuitive, and physical therapist. This is a grounded, heart-centered space where we explore Reiki, energy, and the science and spirit of healing. How Reiki supports the body, deepens intuition, regulates the nervous system, and helps transform the experience of healing. Where Reiki meets science, intuition meets practice, and healing becomes more human. If you're curious about Reiki, drawn to deeper healing, or seeking a more connective and intuitive way to care for yourself or others, you're in the right place. Let's begin. Welcome back to the Healing Waves Reiki podcast. I'm your host, Cathy Scarpitto. Today I want to talk about one of the simplest and in many ways one of the most powerful Reiki practices there is. Self-Reiki. When most people first discover Reiki, they're usually looking for someone else to help them heal. A practitioner, a teacher, a session. But one of the greatest gifts Reiki offers is something much deeper. It reminds us that healing isn't something that's done to us. It's something we learn to participate in. And that's exactly what Self-Reiki is. Self-Reiki is simply the practice of offering Reiki to yourself. No special equipment, no perfect meditation space, no complicated ritual. Just your hands, your breath, your awareness, and your intention to be present with yourself. For me, Self-Reiki isn't about trying to force healing. It's about creating the conditions where healing can naturally happen. It's a moment of saying to yourself, I'm here, I'm listening, I'm giving myself permission to receive. Many of us spend our lives caring for everyone else. Parents, children, patients, clients, friends, partners. We're very good at noticing when someone else needs comfort. But we often miss the signs within ourselves. We keep pushing. We keep giving. We keep saying, I'll rest later. I'll deal with it tomorrow. I'm fine. Until one day, the body asks for our attention in a louder voice. Sometimes through exhaustion. Sometimes through anxiety. Sometimes through pain. Self-Reiki becomes an invitation to pause before we reach that point. Some people ask, isn't this just putting your hands on yourself? And in one sense, yes, it is. But there's something profoundly human about gentle, intentional touch. Research has shown that slow, supportive touch can help calm the nervous system, encourage relaxation, and shift the body towards a state of safety. As a physical therapist, I've watched how healing often begins when people finally feel safe enough to let their guard down. Reiki adds another layer. Not only are we offering comforting touch, we are also bringing conscious presence, intention, compassion, permission to receive. Whether you view Reiki as universal life energy, prayerful intention, or simply mindful presence, many people notice that something begins to soften. People often ask me, how often should I do Self-Reiki? My answer is, more often than you think. It doesn't have to last an hour. Some of the most meaningful moments last only a few minutes. Sometimes before I get out of bed, sometimes after a difficult conversation, sometimes before seeing clients, sometimes before going to sleep. Some days I simply place one hand over my heart and one over my abdomen, close my eyes, and breathe. And that's enough. Healing doesn't always require doing more. Sometimes it asks us to simply be present. If you're new to Reiki, don't worry about memorizing every traditional hand position. You can begin with wherever your body naturally asks your hands to go. Many people enjoy placing their hands over their heart, over their solar plexus, on the lower abdomen, behind the head, on the forehead, on the shoulders, on an area of discomfort. You don't have to wonder if you're doing it right. Trust your body. Our hands often know where to go before our minds do. Every Self-Reiki session is different. Some days you may feel warmth, tingling, gentle pulsing, deep relaxation. You might become emotional. You might become sleepy, or you may notice absolutely nothing, and that's okay too. Reiki isn't measured by dramatic experiences. It's often the quiet changes that matter most. You suddenly realize you're sleeping better. You're responding differently to stress. You're more patient, more grounded, more yourself. Healing is often subtle before it's obvious. I think one of the greatest lessons Reiki teaches us is this. We deserve the same kindness we so freely offer everyone else. Imagine if every day, even for 5 minutes, you placed your hands over your heart and simply said, "May I be well. May I be peaceful. May I trust my body's wisdom. May I receive healing today." Those moments matter, not because you're trying to fix yourself, but because you're remembering you were never meant to be abandoned by yourself. As always, Reiki isn't a replacement for appropriate medical or mental health care. Instead, it's a supportive practice that can work alongside traditional health care by helping calm the nervous system, encouraging relaxation, and creating space for the body's natural healing processes. The two can beautifully complement one another. If today's episode inspired you to begin your own Self-Reiki practice, I've created a companion workbook to help you continue. Inside, you'll find space to create your own daily ritual, reflect on what you notice during your sessions, explore hand positions, journal your experiences, and develop a practice that feels authentic to you. And if you'd like to experience Self-Reiki in a more guided way, you'll also find a companion meditation that gently walks you through the process from beginning to end. You can find links in today's show notes. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Until next time, remember, healing doesn't always begin with finding something outside yourself. Sometimes it begins with simply placing your own hands over your heart, taking one slow breath, and remembering that the healing you've been searching for has been within you all along. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you next time on the Healing Waves Reiki podcast. Thank you for listening to the Healing Waves Reiki podcast. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who may need it. Subscribe and leave a review so more people can find this work. Until next time, stay grounded, stay open, and keep healing. This podcast is intended for informational, educational, and inspirational purposes only. The content shared on this podcast is not medical, psychological, legal, or professional advice, and is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any condition. Always seek the guidance of a qualified healthcare provider, mental health professional, or other licensed professional regarding your specific needs. The views expressed by guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of the host. Listener discretion and personal responsibility are advised.